Hey, it's Wednesday. It's time for a new episode of DA Wrestling with your buddy Andrew, Canadian Wrestling YouTube guy here, along with his buddy, one of the originators of DA Wrestling, Doug. He's back for an episode here again, too.
Hi, I made 2 episodes in a row.
Exactly, just like he did with the predictions video. Thanks for all the guys who watched and viewed it. Appreciate it. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so on today's show, we're going to talk some things that happened on Raw, the interesting bits. We're going to give our thoughts on Wrestlepalooza as a whole and what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it. We're going to talk about the Jey Uso turn, kind of. Long time coming. We could argue that one. We're going to talk about some matches that were announced for Perth, and we had a big one today on X announced. But before we do get started on that one too, make sure you like, share, subscribe down below. Small click for you, big click for us here. We appreciate everything you guys support us on. We thank you very much. But hey, Asuka finally turned after weeks and weeks and weeks of just getting angry at Io. And she finally missed it to Rhea, which makes the women's division a lot more interesting now with Asuka and now Kairi Sane as well being a heel on Raw. How do you feel about this?
I don't think Kyrie's turned yet. Because
he's joined Asuka, but yeah, I can see where
no, I think she's with Asuka out of fear.
Yep.
And well, I mean, you've seen it in the backstage segment earlier in the night.
Yeah.
When Rhea challenged Asuka, and Asuka walks away, and Kairi was trying to reason with Rhea.
Yep.
Or kind of help me.
Yeah.
And until Asuka shouted at her, let's go, whatever. And so I think Kairi is that reluctant partner, but I think it's just going to turn into a program leading into Survivor Series.
Yep.
It's going to turn into this is going to turn into the women's War Games match.
Yeah, I can see it now with
so right now I have Asuka, Kairi, because you can hold off on Kairi turning on Asuka till after Survivor Series.
I'd almost argue that you have Kairi leave Asuka.
Yeah.
Maybe the next week or two, right? And maybe a couple weeks, right? Go join, because if this is going to be the War Games match, right? Join Io and Ripley, and then have Kairi turn on them to rejoin Asuka to help Asuka's team win.
I mean, they could play out a story like that. I've definitely seen that angle before.
Yeah, it's been done before. It's kind of a good angle.
No, I'm not shitting on it.
No, I'm not saying you're not pooping on it at all.
No, yeah, sorry, we're trying to keep it PG.
Yeah, make sure you try to keep PG here on the show here, folks.
You're allowed one swear
that's why
word
we
PG
that's why we use
in a
terms
preview
like
show.
That's why we use terms like poop.
Anyways, so yeah, I think that this was boiling for a minute.
Yep.
And I think that at the end of this, I think it's going to make Io an even bigger star.
Yeah.
And I think that even Rhea is going to benefit from this, because Rhea hasn't taken out Asuka yet.
No,
those two have never touched, dude.
No, but I think
until this Monday.
I think though too, this benefits this heel turn. I think completes everything if you get Asuka heel as a champion, which means you got to take the belt off for Kier at some point. I mean, I'm not saying it has to be happening now. I'm just saying somewhere down the line, a heel Asuka getting the title, I think is a good idea. Especially if you want to have Io face Asuka, let's say at Mania, for that title.
I think that's ultimately the end game with this.
Yeah.
Is Io versus Asuka with some sort of title involved. And that's the thing. You can have Vicure hold the women's title till like the Royal Rumble,
Absolutely can.
and then have Asuka win it at the Rumble, and have Io win the women's Rumble.
You can even have Io win it there and Oscar win the Rumble. You can go either way with it. Either one you like go.
No, I at this point you need Asuka with the title. So you have Asuka, and then she reveals these new allies to put roadblocks in front of Io on that road, and then the story is Io overcomes all that and gets the title back.
You know, you can always just have a heel win, right? There's always to be a happy-go-lucky ending.
But who stands to gain more out of that program? That's always what I look at.
I would look at
And
it as
that's
Oscar. I would say Oscar stands to gain more out of it. Io already is huge. Like she is like
but you understand
there's
that.
like Ripley here. Then it's like Io teetering on that edge point. Then you have like Vakir like right here. As far as your three most popular people go in that
Yeah.
division goes, it's those three for sure. It's 1, 2, 3.
Yes, but remember, Asuka's the established veteran.
They're both veterans, let's be honest.
They are, but Asuka's been on WWE TV for 10 years now.
How long has Io's been on there for 9?
She was no Io's. I think Io was on like year 7 or 8, but
We can look this up for later.
anyways, my point is like
Yeah.
there's multiple possibilities you can go through this,
Yeah.
and this is the jumping off point, and I like the way the angle played out
Fair enough.
because there was no definitive winner.
Yeah, I'm perfect. Sometimes you don't need a winner in a match.
As long as you tell a good story.
Exactly. All right, moving on. So we had Wrestlepalooza on Saturday. A lot of mixed reviews on the thing. Some people said it's absolute garbage. Some said it's kind of like and some really liked it. It really depends on how you feel about what you're wrestling. Apparently, ESPN was not the biggest fan of it.
I gave it a C.
Right? I would give it like a B, maybe
I
close
was
to that
like,
B
yeah.
Like I wouldn't say it was fantastic. Like, it didn't blow my mind.
I will say in terms of like enjoyment, for me, the only match that bored me was Cody and Drew. But overall, it was a good show. I'd give it a B plus. Like
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinions on things, right? Like some are, like I said, some people thought it was absolutely horrible.
so, like
I personally, I like the John Cena Brock Lesnar
yeah, the 8-minute squash. I was just
I
about to bring
like
that
it.
up.
Now, granted, looking at our predictions thing over here, we both picked John Cena, right?
Yeah,
Well,
we were wrong.
yeah, we didn't see that one coming.
Who won that, by the way?
What do you mean? As far as who got the most right?
Yeah.
Let's see here. I took Vakir, you took Io. I took Breaker, you took Usos. We both took AJ and Punk. We both took Cody. And I think we both took Cena.
So you won.
Yeah.
Or it's 1-1.
It was kind of like
Okay, whatever. Anyways.
like I was happy with the squash match. I liked it as long as like to be honest with you, right? I love the beginning of that match with Paul Heyman announcing Brock. I think it was awesome.
And then he's right back with the Vision like 2
Yeah.
matches later, which I was like, the fuck.
Maybe you want to make Paul Heyman like a Bobby Heenan. The Heenan
Hey, do you
family
remember in the
crowd.
prediction? Do you remember in the predictions video that when I said that maybe this is quietly Brock Lesnar's retirement match?
It could be.
Having Paul Heyman come out to do his introduction one last time.
It could be, yeah. I didn't cross my mind when I saw that.
Just saying.
It's possible, right? Instead of Akira winning the women's title, I think that was the right move.
Love it.
I know.
What a match.
It was a great match. Probably the best match on the card, in my opinion, other than the returning of the AJ Lee and CM Punk match. But
Um,
I thought it was the best
no,
match.
I liked the women's one better than the tag.
That's fair, right? I thought both matches were like I thought Vakirs and Eos was the match of the night, but Punks and AJ's were also right up there. I found, but
Speaking of Punk and AJ and Becky and Seth, like
yeah,
that was a really creative match,
it was.
and I enjoyed a lot of the different spots
Yeah,
that
so did I.
um and again, like you knew this was going to end with Punk and AJ coming out on top
That was always gonna be the plan, no matter what. It didn't matter who we
because
took. Yeah,
now AJ has a legitimate gripe to be like, I want to be the next women's intercontinental champion,
yeah,
and Punk can be like, I own a victory over you, bitch ass Seth.
yep,
You know.
absolutely.
But by the way, speaking of Seth, that fire ass promo him and Cody did on Monday night.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that in a second, but just last one thing though too. Um, Bright call having Braun Breaker go over Braun Breaker, the Bronze going over Usos.
I don't think that was the original plan
Fair enough. Uh,
because I think they had to call an audible because Jay messed himself up on that chair shot.
fair enough.
Did you not know this?
I heard about it, yeah.
Yeah, no, Jay, like when he hit Braun in the back
Yeah.
the last time, the chair ricocheted, hit Jay in the forehead and busted him wide open.
Mm.
And like I think they had to call an audible because like Jay's like screaming something at Braun and then he hits the spear.
Yeah.
Right? I think they changed.
They probably did.
I think they changed the finish.
Probably did. Uh, Cody Drew. Do you think? I mean, it's Cody's first match back really after a little bit of a layoff there, going off playing Guile in the Street Fighter movie. Uh, my question with it really quickly is before, do you really think that like Drew McIntyre should just eventually take that belt off of Cody, or do you think it's going to be
No,
someone else? No?
no, because at this point I could care less about Drew McIntyre winning.
Fair enough.
I've seen this song and dance one too many times.
That's fair. All right.
And they didn't even give him the visual pinfall over Cody in this one.
No. Uh, speaking of which, speaking just to Jey Uso, Jey Uso's turn
Yeah.
on Raw. There's a lot of people out there saying like, it's a turn, but it's not really a turn. It's eventually
Jay
going to be
is
a turn.
turning from the right hand man into the tribal chief.
Yeah,
This is exactly what's happening.
that's fair.
This turn is like this part of the story is 5 years in the making.
So that being said, then is it possible we're going to see? Possible we're going to possibly see a return match of Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns, singles though, not tag team, singles.
I think that Jimmy calls Roman to set Jay straight.
Yeah.
I think Jay goes off a bit. Let him go off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just let Jay just be unhinged for the rest of the year. Okay. Right.
Yeah, I don't think Jay's winning the
So,
Rumble this year. So,
so here's the thing. Whatever that February pay-per-view is,
yep,
that's where you have Jay and Roman.
yep.
Because Roman will be on his way to facing Seth, which I really think is going to be one of the main events, is Roman and Seth.
It's
But
either
I
gonna be
think that,
it's either gonna be Roman and Seth or Seth and Punk. Seth either way, Seth I think is in the main event.
but I think that middle pay-per-view, you have a legitimate shot where, Jay's been running rampant.
Yeah, and he's going rampant, right? So he's going rampant, right? Eventually, then he's going to move into right, his own territory, right? Eventually, I think he's going to take Roman Reigns' spot. Roman's going to go off in the sunset, retire like everything else, and then go from there, right? Moving on, though, right? Moving on, though. So we talked about Seth Rollins, right? A little bit with the fiery promo against Cody Rhodes. It has been announced, though, too, right? I think on Raw after that, too, was that Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes, title for that Saudi Arabia Crown Jewel title, right? All up against, right? Cody for his Crown Royal, sorry, that Crown Jewel title, right? In Perth, Australia. Now we're doing Crown Jewel again, but it's not in Saudi Arabia as per usual. It's in Perth. So I wonder what's going to happen with that title then. Should be kind of interesting to see what goes on with that, right? Also announced too, we're getting, as the fans always, when fans wanted it, fans talked about it, they cried for it. We're getting Seth Rollins, sorry, not Seth Rollins. We're getting AJ Styles versus John Cena, also Crown Jewel in Perth. Looking forward to that too. I think it's gonna be a great match there. It's good to see that rivalry underneath there too. As you guys have seen though too, we did lose Doug on the feed. Apparently something's gone wrong in Wonderland over there, right? So, but that's okay. We're doing the rest of the show anyway. So again, AJ Styles versus John Cena, regular match, singles match. It's an excellent way to have the team because it was one of the biggest rivalries back in the day when AJ Styles first came to WWE. A lot of people are looking forward to this. They want to see this. I don't think AJ's going to win. I think that's fine. I think this is going to be a fun match for everybody to see. AJ Styles versus John Cena one last time. I think it's going to be a great time. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. That's the episode for tonight. We appreciate it all. Make sure you follow us on X at DA Wrestling. Make sure you follow us on TikTok at DA Sports. I know it still says DA Sports, not DA Wrestling. I get it, right? Make sure you like, share, subscribe down below. There's a small click for you, big for us on DA Wrestling on YouTube. Also, if you want the audio version there, make sure you follow us on Spotify as well as Podbean. We thank you very much, guys. Have a good one. We'll talk to you guys soon. Later.